Greetings everyone, hello and welcome back. Anno 800 Extreme here, and we are back in Scanlan. In Scanlan we are continuing right away with a bit of expansion. The first thing is with more engineers, so I would like to get a bit more money in, and we can just get us a few more blocks up there upgraded. We have the materials for that, and I would also really like to continue upgrading now more of my farmers to workers, because we do have a lot of them, and the workers in return will then become artisans, right? So that's the cycle of life that we have right now. More artisans means more engineers as well, long-term wise. So let's just go ahead. I might definitely be running into some trouble here now doing this, but we are going to do this step by step. And up here we have those farmers. Let's just upgrade the whole first batch there to workers. So we have now also workers on the other side of the river in Scanlan. This is going to lead to a nice population boost and also money, of course. Newspaper guy. Oh, this is really bad. It's so tempting to just do some propaganda, honestly. The 10% consumption increase, of course, is there again. Sausages in Destro. Rival snatches back shares, -5 happiness and plus 50% ride chance. It's going to be harsh times. I gotta say that. We are probably going to see a lot of rides now with 50% increase, and we are also going to see a lot of consumption still. That is my ongoing problem here. In Destro, I would like to continue right away with two things. Two service buildings, really. A church. That really is helpful because it will boost the happiness a lot in Destro, and it will also reduce the amount of rides that we'll see. That is one thing. And the other thing is the school that I would also like to have here in the city center there, to be honest, right here probably. And this will lead to more workers directly that we're going to need without having to upgrade a single building in addition. And workers we need for, of course, my next industry that I would like to have in Destro. Let's just keep a few more people upgraded here. And that is, of course, my steelworks here. Let's build the first one. And as we can see, 200 workers is really steep for one factory, right? I'm also going to need a weapon factory over there. That's another 50 workers that it costs me. We still need to keep the weapons going. Of course, right now we are capped with weapons because I haven't really built that many ships recently. But of course, we always need to get this going. I will still need to, increase the size of Destro though significantly, because we honestly need more industry. So let's go ahead. We can squeeze in 2 more blocks up here with the planks that we have, no problem. And then probably a few more here by the river, just like that. And then a few more up in this area. All about squeezing in as many as possible to the radius of my marketplace, and of course also to the church and school radius here, which is significant at the moment. We could still continue boosting it with paved roads. That I will probably do at some point then as well. So let's just go ahead and also build us those guys. That's a lot, of course. That's also going to lead to a nicer consumption rate. The schnapps is at 6 now only. Workload is fine. Fish is, fine. I might actually build me a second fishery there. There you go. The fish is fine. With the schnapps, however, we need to do something, because of course the schnapps also is important for Scanlan, even though I think not that much anymore. It's at 10 at the moment. Alright, I might either boost it. That's my go-to usually. Let's boost it by 30%. Should be fine. We have a good happiness. We still have a positive happiness there. And I will just counter the increased ride chance with the police station. And this should really lead to a nicer income there again. 12 now. Very good. So we can still sustain everything here with the schnapps. Even though, of course, the more workers and farmers I upgrade, the less schnapps we need. Another thing that's increasing, of course, with more engineers is also my canned food, which is usually something that I'm looking out for the most. Right now we are having a slight deficit on this part. However, we have enough goulash, so I can go ahead and build me another canned food production that we're going to have then here. And we can still add 2 more in this row, which I'm probably doing then at some point, because we do need all of it. Alright, people have moved in. Let's continue upgrading a few more people to workers, giving me 200 workers again, and with that we can afford the next steelwork then here. I think it's also safe now to get rid of the remaining 2 that we have in this area, leading to a nice balance increase again, and also attractiveness is increasing further in Scanland. We have lots of room here now for, yeah, new industry that we can add then to the region at some point later. Let's just go ahead and upgrade more people. I know it will hurt me at some point with my consumption rates, but it will definitely, we're definitely going to profit from that long-term wise. Let's go ahead. As Scanlan is growing. Alright, next newspaper is even worse. Hell's eternal slaves, brutally driven from dawn till dusk, the tyrannized population of Swanel suffer like the yoked beasts of Lucifer. A -5, we also get the invasive investment here, so rivals buy my shares. That's the negative shares, by the way, but I probably will need to stop it now. And also, once again, of course, +10 consumption. I think we haven't had +10 consumption, have not had a +10 consumption forever, so this is really just sticking with us at this point. It will be, the game will be so much easier when it is gone at some point, perhaps. I don't know. All right, what I can see in Scanlan is my steel is now really going up. That's nice to see. Sewing machines with that is also going up again. Fur coats is going up. Those were outright, but the problem with fur coats is that we are really limited now by fur. So we have a demon's pit here, which is completely full now, right? There is not that much I could do here. Oh, Admiral would pay us some money for a peace treaty. I'm going to decline. No, actually, we can go ahead with this. Let's have a peace treaty. I mean, nothing stops me at just declaring war in the future if I need it. What we can do here, though, in Demon's Pit is I see that we have too many farmers. I could actually destroy some of them. Nah, it's full. There is nothing else that we can do here. The war is over. A nice newspaper article. Hopefully this helps me with the next newspaper edition. That should be something. I might also consider now bumping it up with a few more. Ceasefire with Market Hunt. No thanks. I'm not going to do this. I'm not that crazy. I'm not that out of my mind. Let's continue. Another block of engineers here. A few more here, as we can see. And also these guys here. Let's also pave the roads there for Scanlan in more areas. More engineers, that's what we need. That's more money. And it's also reducing the consumption rates of all the other goods. However, of course, fur coats is still there, canned food is still there, sewing machines is still there, and rum is still there. So those things we still need to watch out for. Also here, oh yeah, that's some nice new additions here to the city. And also here a few more. There you go. Artisan, yep, we do need to be careful there. Let's bump it up there again for a few more of my artisans, but not too many, as I don't want to skyrocket that consumption again. Alright, also I think the time is right to start my oil production. For that, however, we will need to mess a few things. This is the only 4 oil fields that we can productively have in the old world right now. And for them to build, I need to get rid of those 3 artisan houses here, plus a few roads. But that's about it, I think, right? Then we should be, yep, cheerfully be able to squeeze them in like... it's still tricky, but like this should be fine. Let's try it out. We can get all 4 of them in. Very good. There's still a bit of a road system here that we can get rid of. And there's the connection then right away. This should be fine. Those poor artisans, well, they are going to live next to an oil refinery. But we are playing on extreme. Sorry, guys. You have to make sacrifices too for the greater good. We can then go ahead and start building it up now with the triple road in the center. Yes. For beauty building, I would not do this, but since space is really rare, I'm going to do it now. Again, my old technique, right? Using my triple road for the train. So the train is going right through the city, but it's still going to be fine. It's still going to look nice too. And then, of course, we continue onwards over there, because here is going to be the oil harbor now. So we can have this beauty somewhere then, let's just see, somewhere squeezed in like that. The other side would be possible too. I think on the other side would be easier. We don't need 2 shipyards anymore, I think, right? As we are barely building stuff. We're fully built at the moment. Let's get rid of one of them, saving us a bit of money there as well. And actually have my oil harbor in that area. That is much safer to me. Right, so we can kind of like squeeze it in here in my harbor, and we can then go ahead and have the tracks just on the other side now, so I don't need that one. But rather that, and here we have it now, the oil harbor. We can go ahead and build it. A few planks are missing actually, but that's it then. Now it's time, let's build the oil refiner with everything that is attached to this. It's going to be quite expensive, but we can afford it. Maintenance wise it's 250, so that is fine, right? Oil production has started. We can also now go ahead and build the oil harbor. So we should now be seeing the first batch of oil, then the first train as well, moving over to the oil harbor as production is ramping up. Now, meanwhile, while this is happening, we continue onwards because of course we still need to get that oil to one of my power plants, and that is then down here. The distance will be quite long to cover, but it should still be fine. We might also consider adding a second track to the system, but we'll just see how that we can make work then. Here is probably, wait a second, let's make the bridge then here. Let's just do this quickly. Like, oh, this is not possible. This is possible. This should be possible. Come on, do this for me. Getting down there a bit, and then over. There you go. This is something we can make do. It's problematic though. Really like to have it on the other side then. Yeah, it's much easier to do it on the other side, to be honest. Because this way we can then move it in here. And this will do the job then just fine then as well. There you go. And here as well. And of course, this can go away again. We can make that connection. More. Oh, really? We're out of steel beams. Do we not produce enough? Where's my trader for the steel beams? There it is. Steel is coming in, so the trade route is working, but we just consumed a lot of steel, honestly. Okay, this is looking way too nasty. I mean, it's not a beauty building that I'm doing here, right? But this is still too much to bear. So we're going to move that. Pop over like this, and then we have a bit more room to fiddle around here with that track system, right? Because that was just really messy. This is much better now. There you go. And also, of course, yeah, one connection with the pop overall. But that's the tracks then going over, and then of course it continues onwards through that triple road all the way to the other side. We should have enough materials for that. Very good. And we can just make the connection then here as well. Once more. Then we're just going to add some crossings there as well. Deep into this territory. And then we will need, of course, our first power plant. And for this, I need to make sure that we really power everything. So I'm probably going to have it somewhere over there. This should make it possible. A bit further down, perhaps. There you go. Also, looking out for not wasting too much space. That's fine. I mean, we could theoretically make this even more efficient. Do we get... I think we don't get the steel beams back every time we delete those tracks. Right. But something like this is much better now. Because we do essentially now save space. Right? And we don't need anything else in here. The only thing that I will need to do is, of course, we need to add roads still to the system. Because we still need to add... we still need to extend the range, of course, of the power plant. So it needs to be connected with the road all around it. And then there's just really one connection here. And as we can see, we will be able to reach all of them. Right. Also make this one here paved. Yes, it goes all the way here to this corner there. And with that, the whole industry area can be powered with one power plant. Essentially doubling our production here. I just need to wait for some steel beams now to come in again. We've just consumed a lot of them. I only have 2 steelworks working at the moment, but Desro has lots of steel, so I think my trader for the steel beams is just not delivering quite enough there. Alright, now we have it in, and let's build that power plant. And this is going to enter us a new era, because with that we are essentially doubling our output in the industry now. Of course, also we're doubling the consumption, so we should watch out for that. But we will be able to delete some industries now in the process. By the way, also this one here, I don't need anymore. And I will also, yeah, let's keep the lumberjack hut for now. But other than that, going to be nice once the first train comes in. And I think there it is. Choo-choo! trains in Scanlan. Power is in, and as we can see, we're now doubling our output here. 200% for the canneries, 200% for the sewing machine factories. With that, we can also tone it down on the production boost, right? And with that, also get us the perfect artisan happiness out again in Scanlan. We should still have a nice surplus on these things. So the canned food is at +1 with that now. The sewing machines is at +5 with that. The fur coats is at +6, and what was the other one? Ah, the kitchen, right? It's negative still. Are the kitchens not being boosted? Not all of them. So there is still room to improvement. Room for improvement. And that's this in this case here. Now all of them are getting boosted. And now we should see a nice bump there. At least to equal. Now it's a slight surplus production that we have. Let's also upgrade a few more people. This time it's workers to artisans again. Because with that, we can reduce our workers. We don't need that many workers anymore in Scanlan, right? So it's a good idea to just upgrade a bunch of them. Also some people to workers as well, vice versa. And yeah, perhaps a few more artisans here. But let's make sure that we still keep a bit of an artisan workforce left, because we still need, of course, some more industry. Please give me something. Alright, at least the negativity is gone. The riot chance is reduced again, but spectacles is missing, and that leads to another 10% consumption.
Really?
So this is not something we are getting rid of. At least riot chances and happiness is much better again. We still have a lumberjack hut up here that I certainly don't need anymore. And let's get rid of that. We have a police station here. I will still need another hospital as well in the area. Somewhere over here. Probably instead of not a fire station. that was a joke. A bad one. But there is a school. We still need the school. Let's get rid of this one. Getting that hospital over there. So I have 2 hospitals now in Scanlan. And this one, 3. And this one we can remove with that, right? And the reason for that is simple. Let's get rid of these 2 buildings here and of the church. The church is really not serving a purpose anymore in this area. That gives me a lot of space all of a sudden. I think we should be able to squeeze in a nice bank. There you go. A bank in the middle of Scanlan. Very important, that is. And this is going to lead to a nice bump in income. However, it's still costing me a bit, so we need to wait there just a few tiny seconds. 100,000 on the credits is also quite steep, to be honest, and 1,000 maintenance. But I'm pretty confident that we are going to get more out of it than we invest. There it is, we can build it now, and yeah, let's just do this. Bump to 5, and we are bumping it up to 8,000 on the income. So any kind of fluctuation that we have now in the future should be neglected with that, right? So hopefully we're not getting negative anymore if we're running out of rum, for example, which we ultimately will at this point, because we don't have any sugarcane anymore, and there's no way I can get in more. So the bank is serving a nice purpose. It's also increasing happiness for the engineers, so we have a perfectly happy population in Scanlan at the moment. Another thing is happening in Destro, and that's finally fixing our steel problem, because we are constantly running out of steel because we have boosted the steel industry in the steel consumption industry in Scanlan, but in Destro we haven't boosted the production for that. And I would like to do this now by adding, trying it at least, this oil refinery here that we can afford. With that I can get both of these oil fields in, and I'm going to now get the tracks. I mean, we don't have any steel beams really. Wait a second, there's my trader for that. Let's put them off there again. I don't need that much more steel beams, but for now I will need it for at least this rail system, right? So this is going now all the way then here through that corridor around the industry area into this harbor area where we're going to have an oil harbor that is going to sit in that area. We don't need to have a road connection for the oil harbor. I still like to do one. Let's also have some paved roads here to speed up the delivery times, because right now I think we're also a bit limited. Oh, yes, and the warehouses. There is a problem with the warehouses. I'm not going to have a trade unit there anytime soon. I'm sorry, we don't have any items that we could use, so let's go ahead and just have some of them here.
Ready for a challenge.
There you go. And that's the tracks going now all the way to that oil harbor. And with that, we have a oil production as well. Once I have the steel beams, that is, to build the oil refinery. And then we just need to have an electrical power plant right here.
I'd hate to punish you, but if that's what it takes.
And probably move the weapon factory just one step to the left. There you go. Right, so we have a bit of a room here to get it in like that. Perfect. After a while, we have all the resources. Let's go ahead and build me the oil refinery up there and the oil harbor and the electrical power plant. All of this is now running. There we still need to make the connection, of course, going from the oil refinery. And I'm going to bump it up here by 50%. So hopefully this should be enough then. Now with that coming in, we can of course now reduce the boost of the steel beams, and it will then also be able to remove the boost on the steel, and thus it will lead to a happy population again in Destro. Right, there's the train already. A few more workers we need. All right. I can still upgrade a few more. There you go. And it's equal again. Now the power plant will not work 100% efficiency because basically we only use 50 engineers now in it. That's the 50 that you get as a bonus, right? We're still having a negative 100. That's still going to be fine though. It's still going to produce electricity for that area. The oil is in. Alright, it seems like I'm severely mistaken. We can still learn more about the game. 50 engineers is not enough. I thought it would at least lead to 40 to 50% electricity production. However, it just doesn't even start up, right? So 50 engineers is not enough. We need 100, I think, or at least half of what the total requirement is. That means either I'm going with a commute pier now. That would cost me 2,000 credits, right? 2,000 credits just for electricity production bump in Desro does not seem like a good deal to me. So what we are doing instead is I'm going to get the consumption goods over here for upgrading a few people to artisans and then a few people to engineers, right? We have the consumption materials for that. It's just going to take a few minutes really, and we continue onwards here in the next episode once I've upgraded them to engineers, and then we hopefully have everything in for a tiny electricity production in Desro. Stay tuned.